every day it's like, oh, someone's interested. Niners going to trade him tomorrow, but it never happens. And I think the mystery is why? Why is there no trade market? Why don't the Niners want him? He's won so many games, completion percent. No, the record looks good. The numbers look good. His face looks good. He's 30 years old. Someone should want him, but they don't. And I think we're starting to figure it out. There was a report from Mike Silver a couple of weeks ago, and then Peter King reported the same thing yesterday. And it's that after Jimmy Garoppolo signed his big extension, he ghosted the Niners for an offseason, but not just 2018. Pretty much every offseason, he would treat it as, me time. And he would get back to the Niners when he was contractually obligated. I asked Kyle Shanahan today about Trey Lance, like, how impressed have you been with his work this offseason? And basically what he said was, that's what he's supposed to do. That's what we expect.
Seen him work and prepare all offseason as the starting quarterback. How impressive has he been in his maturity and professionalism?
It's what we've expected. So I'm not going to sit there and, that's what you expect. That's why we wanted him, and he's been how we expected. And I think when you're like that and you have the skill set and you can keep stacking days together, it's a matter of time before you get to a certain level.
Well, it's what they expected of Jimmy Garoppolo, and according to reports, it's not what they got. So I think if the Niners cut Jimmy, someone might sign him. Someone signed Josh Rosen. But to trade for a $27 million guy who may not even do the work, who may not do more than the bare minimum, I think we're starting to realize what the league thinks of this guy.
That's interesting. I will say this. I believe the report because I've heard that a few times from other players. We've heard it from other players. Hey, have you talked to Jimmy? Jimmy's a really bad texter. I think Kittle said that, and a couple different guys referenced that. Yeah. And not just this year. Over the last couple of years, we've heard, when Jimmy's away, sometimes he's hard to get a hold of, that kind of thing. So I think there's truth in the report. I think it has the reason he's still here has everything to do with the contract. I think it's
no question.
It's a contract. Yeah. It's a huge contract. People will take him. I bet you there would be 6 or 7 teams bidding for him if he wasn't making $25 million a year. So I think it's universal. Nobody likes the contract. Niners, other teams, nobody wants that contract. So that's first and foremost.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's first and foremost. I think his because he is, I think, when you put him up against like a Baker Mayfield, something like that, Grant, I think he is considered like, wow, this guy's a mature leader who actually can lead. So I think there's a contradiction between, is he all in as a leader? I think he is all in as a leader. But as far as an off-season worker, his time is his time. And quarterbacks, there's 2 different things going on here, Grant. You know it. There's the over here is the CBA, how it's negotiated, and over here is like the different expectations that head coaches and coaching staffs have for quarterbacks as far as time invested.
It just seems like if he's going to be a serious top 15 quarterback in the league, he's got to do the work in the offseason. He's got to care. And I think if he doesn't that explain why he throws the same interceptions all the time? Doesn't that explain why he never really improved on the 49ers? I know like part of it is the injuries and the contract, but I think part of it is that this whole air of reputation of professionalism is a little bit fraudulent. That, he says the right thing and he doesn't throw his coaches under the bus, but does seem like he does the bare minimum in the offseason, which is not what the best quarterbacks in the league do.
Right. That to me, and I've talked about this on the radio today, everybody talks about height and weight and hand size and all these different measurables for quarterbacks. The real measurable is how much do they love the process of playing pro football? Because if they absolutely are like, this is all I know, then they'll spend the time for the mental reps, the physical reps, the wide receiver reps, and I think there's some question as to whether or not Jimmy just really good at football, or is he totally wed to the process year round? And my guess is he's not wed to the process year round.
I don't think Jimmy is. I don't think Kyler Murray is. I think Trey Lance is. And when you ask the Niners, what was it about Trey? Everyone assumes, he's bigger, he's faster, he can throw downfield. It's this. He's a grinder. He loves football. And when I asked Kyle today, it's like, it's what we expect, but it's why we brought him here. It's why we brought him here. Can you imagine how frustrated Kyle Shanahan must have been the last 5 years? Because I'm sure Jimmy did and said all the right things before getting the contract. Then they give it to him, make him the highest paid player in the league, and he's gone. Can you imagine how frustrating that would have been for his coaches? I can only imagine. And you can't say it because that's your guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And coaches are a different breed. They are wed to the process almost by rule, and they're all in. So to see a quarterback do, let's say, maybe as much as the other guys on the team, but not as much as other quarterbacks do around the league is probably disappointing. I think the other factor that has to be mentioned here, because I know from talking to the personnel, some of my friends on the personnel side, that they put it up on a board and they said, this is the we think we've done a good job at accumulating all these players. This is the team we're going to have with Jimmy. This is the team we're going to have with quarterback X on a rookie deal. And I think that right now it's one level, but 2 years from now, the team that they're going to have compared to the team that they would have had with Jimmy is so much better with the rookie quarterback or the quarterback on the rookie scale deal that's the overriding factor, I think.